Hello everyone, welcome to the latest update series of Drishti. This is Divya Kawatra and we meet today to discuss a very important topic that has recently come into news, that is world's first OptoSAR satellite. Okay, what are we going to discuss? We're going to discuss about what this satellite is. Since it is world's first, what is so special about it? What are we trying to do? What is new in here? Why it is in news? All these things we're going to cover today. All right. Shall we start? Okay. So, talking about OptoSAR satellite, first let's understand what this is. Okay. The mere concept of OptoSAR satellite basically deals with the kind of satellite that recently India has created, India has launched. Okay. That is produced by GalaxEye. Okay. Now, GalaxEye, why is it special? Because first of all, it is a private entity which is actually working under IIT Madras, however, but it is a private entity. Okay. So, the first special thing is this has been produced by a private entity rather than government. The second thing is that this OptoSAR satellite that India has launched, it's one of its kind. It is one of its kind. Why do we call it one of its kind? Because this is the first time any nation, mark my words, any nation in the world has come up with such a satellite that is going to give us, this is the first kind of satellite that is going to give us a clear vision of Earth, even during the foggy days, even through the clouds, even through all the interruptions, that atmospheric interruptions as we call it, that happen while taking a look at the Earth. Okay. Why did we need this? Why is this so special? Just try to understand. Up till now, what was happening was, just imagine that you are trying to look at the Earth because there has been a flood. Okay. There has been a flood and a lot of area has been flooded. You need to take an overview from the top to see which area has been flooded more, which villages have suffered more, so that accordingly you can send help there, right? So now you'll start and just contact the satellite. Hello, give us some views, give us some expectation as to what we are walking into. They will try to look, but since there is a flood, there is a high possibility that there has been rainfall, right? The rainfall might have raised the river water, right? So there is a possibility there will be clouds. Now, if there are clouds, the vision gets hampered. The satellite vision gets hampered. Why vision gets hampered? Because up till now, we had two optimized visions. Okay, we had two visions, like if this is the satellite and if it is looking towards the Earth, right? It will have two kinds of visions, one with the radar, right? One with the radar and the other with the lens. Now, both of these are at certain angles. Okay, both of these are at certain angles. They cannot overlap. The problem was they cannot overlap to generate a clear image for us, right? They could not overlap to generate clear image for us because of the clouds or atmospheric interruptions, right? So this satellite, OptoSAR satellite, has come up with the solution. What solution? That they have merged these two images, that now we will be able to see clearly, even if there is fog, there is cloud, you will be able to clearly see the Earth and determine the current situation. In all aspects, not necessarily in flood, in all aspects, whenever we need a clear imaging of the Earth, we can use this satellite. This is world's first kind, because up till now, nobody was able to solve this problem of different angles, the different angles of vision, because of which an overlapping image was not possible, right? That is why this OptoSAR is very special because through flooding, if there are losses, we will be able to determine that. If we want clear imaging of the Earth, we will be able to determine that. All these problems will be solved altogether, right? Just to give you a comparison, what OptoSAR is doing, we'll talk about the details of OptoSAR, don't worry. But just to give you a comparison, take a look at this image. Normal optical satellites give us this image when the weather is clear, right? But when the weather is not clear, the radar gives us this image and includes these clouds and the foggy texture. That makes it very difficult for us to actually determine the current situation. Can you see it would be difficult, right? Yeah. Now what OptoSAR is giving is this. This is the vision of OptoSAR. At the same time, they would eliminate all the clouds, they would eliminate all the fog. They will also use AI to actually create a very clear picture, for us to understand things better. Yeah, this will be highly beneficial. Up till now, anybody in the world who has been trying for this knew that this is such a huge problem, because whenever we talk to these team operating the satellite that we need information, they're not able to provide us with the information. Rainfall, fog, whatever it is, they're not able to provide information because this is the vision. How do you understand anything from that? Right? Now, this is the vision that we are going to get. That is how clarity is going to define the new vision that India has set up through the satellite. You understand that? Yes? Is that clear? So while obtaining these images, this is going to be very beneficial. Right? Here we have fused optical plus SAR. This view plus this view has been merged now. We will have at one angle all weather opinions, 24/7 imaging will be available. Anytime we can access this data to analyze whatever our needs are. Yes? Is that clear? Do you understand that? That is what this is special about OptoSAR. Okay, this is Word's first thing, and the mission was called apparently Mission Drishti. Okay, so the mission was called Mission Drishti, which is Word's first satellite integrating both optical and radar sensors. We've actually integrated them both. That Word has been trying to do since a very long time. Okay, so this GalaxEye or GalaxEye as they are called, right, they have achieved this. This is a Bangalore-based space tech working under IIT Madras. Not exactly working under IIT Madras, but the IIT Madras alumni have gathered together to form GalaxEye. Yeah. So this is a private institution that also brings in news for UPSC, how private institutions have been contributing a lot in the space tech. Yes. Yeah. So we'll see that. We launched this on 3rd of May via SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. That is not Indian, that is in the USA. Please remember that the launching facility has been provided by USA while the satellite has been produced by India. All right. Can you remember that? Yes. Orbiting, it is sun synchronous low Earth orbit. LEO, sun synchronous LEO. That's it. Sun synchronous LEO. It will synchronize with the motion of the sun and will be in the lower orbit. Is that clear? Yes. Yeah. So this is a technological breakthrough as we discussed, because we are overcoming Space 101 challenge, that is aligning the sensors. This was a challenge that nobody was able to cater to, and we've finally done that. With that, private sector leadership has also come forward in India, that we have been demanding since a very long time in the science and tech department, that private entities need to come forward, need to take lead in this segment, right? So that can be seen happening. And finally, all-weather sovereignty will. India is going to have an all-weather sovereignty. India will have that edge. Since it is our satellite, we will have that edge to determine all the areas at bad weather situations as well. Yes, this is going to enhance our national security, our intelligence. Everybody is going to benefit from that. Yes, exactly. What are the features? Visibility. Earlier, we had optical sensors that required sunlight and which was blocked by clouds. Now, in the recent radar sensors, it will work 24/7. No, sunlight required, right? It will provide intuitive high resolution color images through MSI, but now the new radar is going to give us grayscale radar maps, which are, which were not really easier for us to read. The innovation, however, is going to help us in lot other factors as well, right? So this is off another angle. Off another angle is because a satellite has a tilted view, right? Because of the axis tilt, satellite has a tilted view. If that tilted view does not align with the radar view, the imaging is not clear. We get two different images, right? We have to overlap them manually and then try to figure out what is happening. But here we will have integrated images, right? So this off another angle problem has been resolved, and we are introducing AI also here for getting user-friendly structures, right? And this will help us maintain data consistency, because continuously we'll be able to maintain the data, hold the structure and carry forward that. Clear? Yeah. That brings us to India's private space companies and their inventions, right? Right now we have GalaxEye, that is Mission Drishti, world's first OptoSAR. Other than that, we had Agnikul Cosmos, that was developed Agni Ban sorted. Yeah, Agni Ban sorted, featuring world's first 3D printed semi-cryogenic engine. Yes, that was called Agni-Let. Agnikul Cosmos created Agni-Let. This can be asked in match the following, which was done by which private institution, right? So remember that. In that scenario, we have Skyroot Aerospace, also India's first space and unicorn, launched Vikram S, that was privately developed rocket, okay, in the Vikram series. Then we have Pixel, building a constellation of hyperspectral imaging satellites. Yeah. Then we have Dhruv Space, specialized in satellite platforms. They have also tested satellite orbital developers on ISRO's POEM mission also. Yes, they've taken part in ISRO's POEM mission also, and the satellite orbital deployers, right? These are the private institutions and private efforts that have taken place that are showing that private industry is rising and thriving in the same direction. Remember these for your match the following prelims question. Yes? All right. This was our topic about OptoSAR satellite. Let's solve a question based on that, shall we? Yes? I hope this is clear. Let's solve a question. Okay. The question is on the screen that says, with reference to the mission Drishti recently seen in news, consider the following statements. Number one, it is world's first satellite to carry both optical and synthetic aperture radar, which is SAR sensors on the same platform. Second, it was developed by the Indian Space Research Organization to monitor monsoon patterns. And third, the satellite utilizes artificial intelligence to process imagery when cloud cover prevents clear optical views. Which of the statements are correct? We've just read about all of them. Yeah, just take a minute and try to decide the answer. Can we? Right? Yeah. This was our topic for the day, OptoSAR satellite. I hope you understood this. That's all. We'll see you in the next session. Thank you. Bye-bye.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.